What's on deck?
How do you pronounce that? Bossk? Bossk. What is it?
I think we've agreed in the Star Wars community that it is pronounced Bossk.
Bossk. Bossk. Well, the flavor text says
False.
Bossk.
Bossk. Run. Fight. All die.
Oh, see, that's why it's Bossk, because he's all about the
Some run.
Doesn't roll off the tongue, but it rolls off the
Some
throat.
fight. All die.
Bossk.
Bossk. That's what it says. We're unboxing. Your cuts are a little jagged.
Yeah,
on this one.
I had a very nice knife or pair of shears, and then I lost them. So, you like that one?
I like his scales.
I mean, he's a nice addition to the Transition Hunters. Like, he's definitely a different pose. You're not gonna get him confused with the.
I will tell you
other
again, though,
tradition.
these freaking mold lines. Like, I never understood what that meant
Yeah.
until we went to the painting class, but
But you can imagine trying to paint over that stuff. I will say, having handled, because I'm still fairly new to the hobby, but having handled like some GW things, and GW models do have their advantages. These are you just wouldn't do that with like, you know, a plastic. So they're very hardy, and so it does make scraping the mold lines and what stuff.
Wait, which ones are hardy? Those are hardy?
This
okay.
resin that they're using.
I see.
Um,
So scraping them shouldn't be an issue.
no, it is, because it's actually very hard material.
Oh, I
but
see.
I will say they're very durable figures.
Okay.
Very,
I see what you're
very
saying,
durable. So
All that being said, yeah.
if you like durability,
These definitely should be painted because I mean, when you look at the colors on the cover art, that's really cool. The whole
and I do
green
like
skin.
this. Look, the cover art and the model.
They actually
They
look
match.
similar.
Well, I'm sure whoever makes the art and whoever molds.
I doubt they're the same guy.
Yeah, they're not the same guys. Do they hire?
Oh, does the mold inspire the artwork?
Yeah,
or does the artwork inspire the mold?
And I'm sure it's not consistent.
Well, we got here the skirmish map called Hunter's Cache. There you go. We've got the introduction of some tunnels here. And you have to have the Besman Gambit expansion to play this. So they are using those tiles more often, which is nice.
What do you win when you win that?
The reward, you mean? Each
Credits.
just credits, XP.
Imperial player gets Bossk.
Oh, yes, and the fine print.
This is a forced mission.
Okay.
See, it's a forced.
So you can get Bossk.
I guess we're going right into this. The side mission is a forced mission.
Mm-hmm. And this is different. Base instincts.
Oh, here we go.
Those look more useful.
Choose a rebel figure within 2 spaces of the target space.
That rebel figure suffers damage equal to the damage suffered by the Imperial figure during the previous attack. Maximum of 3. So if you get attacked, you can cause the same amount of damage to the person, to another figure within 2 spaces.
I like to use influence for these forced missions. That's where I really like to do it, because I like the idea of like, oh man, I can get Bossk.
Well, we've got some character cards.
What is Bossk all about?
So indiscriminate fire.
It's a special action.
Special action, choose a space within 3 spaces in your line of sight. Then roll a green die. Each figure on or adjacent that space suffers damage equal to the damage results and strain equal to the surge results. So you can cause damage and strain with him. And then regenerate, that's just a built-in ability. At the end of each round, recover 2 damage and discard all harmful conditions. Built-in 2 damage, built-in 2 accuracy. So he's pretty. You'd have to stun him before the activation.
Yeah, before he activates that round.
For it to be useful.
Yeah.
So it won't carry over into the next round. And he's pretty healthy. He's got 10 health and only costs 8. So, I mean, that's
Well, indiscriminate
powerful.
fire allows him to do damage. He can use both actions to cause damage. He's a pretty straightforward young lad, but he looks very, very useful.
The attachment that you get is exhaust this card when a hostile figure suffers strain during your activation. Reduce the amount of strain suffered by 1. Then the player controlling that figure must discard 1 random command card from his hand. If he can't, suffers a damage. That's kind of cool. It's not that great, though.
It could be useful.
Well, of course, you got your 2 options for your skirmish map.
And here we go. Now we have our command cards.
So we've got Bossk. His character one is when you declare indiscriminate fire, roll a yellow die. Oh, add a yellow die to the dice pool.
Could do a lot of strain.
Because indiscriminate fire, now you're only rolling one die.
I mean, that could be
You're rolling
devastating
two.
in skirmish, because if you've got like 3 strain there, they might either discard 3 command cards or take the damage. Either way.
That's a really good card.
Yeah.
For only a
And
cost of 2.
the implementation of it is pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
So
The other card that you get here for a 2 value is a brawler card. During your activation, an adjacent figure suffers 2 damage, then you suffer 2 strain.
So we've got some new 0 cost cards. We've got Wild Attack. Any figure used when you declare an attack. Add 1 red die to the attack pool and 1 white die to the defense pool.
That's stupid.
No, you could potentially do a lot more damage, but they could potentially roll
Block more.
a miss.
Yeah.
It costs 0,
That's
so it's
true.
kind of like a go for broke. Disorient, this is also 0. Use after a hostile figure with a beneficial condition suffers damage of any kind. Discard 1 beneficial condition from that figure, then that figure suffers 2 strain.
So if they use a beneficial condition like hidden, then they have to discard that condition.
Yeah, if they have it, and then they
then
get
suffer 2 strain.
strain on top of that. So I think it's a very good 0 cost card.
So would you add him to a brawler army?
Yeah, I think that he'd be very compatible with that brawler thing we were working with the Transition Hunters and the, what were they?
Tusken Raiders?
Tusken Raiders. And it could be cool to just have like a team worth, Trandoshans. Thematically, that could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he looks like a lot of fun. He's a great model. It's going to look really great painted up. It looks like he'd be a lot of fun to bring out in a campaign. A way to kind of make your heroes just... Again, you brought Bossk out again.
I like that he's not a convoluted new character.
As someone who's into the hobby as well of painting them up, this one
Will be fun to paint.
This is the one I am most excited
To paint.
Just personally.
Hopefully you like this video, and if
Yeah.
you haven't watched the other blister pack videos, get on it, because they're there.